Aiden and Tony obviously at the top, Stubbo, South at 4, Bedingham at 5, Farina at 6, we've got Mulder at 7, Marco at 8, we have Gerard, so Marco and Gerard are back, KG as well as Keshav.
So just the one spinner, if I've got that right?
Just the one frontline spinner, yes.
So what's the kind of thinking behind that?
Well, I mean, from a seam point of view, we're quite confident in the guys that we've selected. And then from a spin point of view, Keshav, if there is a need for a second spinner, we do have Aiden as well who can give us that opportunity. Looking at the wicket, we feel that if it does spin, it'll probably be at the end of the game. Considering the weather as well, I think probably the seamers will come into play, and we're quite confident in our ball impact.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just talk to us about the readiness of the team ahead of this test series, and of course, just the importance of doing well in this test series.
Yeah, I mean, I believe the team is as ready as it can be. We've had a good camp at the HPC that we had last week. We've come here to Kingsmead as well, and we've acquitted ourselves with the conditions as well as we could. A lot of excitement amongst the group. 4 games left in our Test Championship, and every game is as important as a final will be. So, guys are as ready, like I said. Guys are excited. I'm excited to be back within the team again. Yeah, I think you should be seeing some good stuff from the guys.
You spoke about every game is like a final, which I suppose there's pressure, there's expectation, but there's also a lot of excitement. How do you approach something like this? Test cricket doesn't really have like knockouts, so to speak, but this is a knockout.
Yeah, I mean, I think the word knockout doesn't come about within the team. The expectation and the pressure, I do believe that's something that has come from outside of the team. So what we have spoken about as a team is to keep looking inwardly as a team. We understand what has brought us results, albeit it's always been for a short period. But we want to concentrate and focus on that as much as we can. We know what we'd like to achieve as a team. We know we are getting closer to what we want to achieve. But I think the old adage stays that we play it game by game, session by session, and we kind of let everything else take care of itself.
And Temba, this is I think your 10th year now as a Test player. I think next week that will be 10 years since you made your debut. You've obviously seen this team change so much, and now you're the leader of it. How does this team differ from the ones you previously played in? And if there are any differences, what would you put that down to? Obviously cricket's changed in 10 years, but how's Test cricket for you changed?
Yeah, I think that realization in itself, that is my 10th year, is something for me, and I think I'll probably think a bit more deeply about it, probably be emotional about it. But I think, thinking back to 2014, making my debut in Port Elizabeth, we had the likes of AB de Villiers, Hashim Amla, who were the main guys within the team, accomplished international cricketers. I think now, if I think about it now, when you've got the likes of KG, you've got guys like Keshav who are becoming those main players. But the feel of the team is a lot more different. Younger guys have come into this space and they've started putting in performances where you could say that they could become in the same class of guys as your AB de Villiers and your Hashim Amla. Thing as me being a senior player, we take a lot of joy from seeing the young guys come into the team, and at least trying to contribute to them becoming as good as they can be. The same thing that was done for me as a youngster is the same thing that you try to do to the younger guys. So yeah, I mean, I haven't really thought about that question, but I think the top of the mind, that's probably what come to mind. But the team is definitely different, ever evolving. The modern game is also different as well. Yeah.
Temba, Sri Lanka had a decent sort of assess the opposition? Do you think that they are still vulnerable against high quality fast bowling?
I think, looking at the test cycle and how Sri Lanka have performed, if they are vulnerable against fast bowling, then they wouldn't be third on the log. You know, it's a team that has performed very well, and they've done so in different conditions as well. So obviously from their side, in terms of their preparation, you know, fast bowling will be a thing. Playing against South Africa in South Africa, that's always a challenge. But I'm sure they'll be backing their preparation to be able to at least have answers to that challenge. I think they've been playing very good cricket, you know, and for us as a team, we know that we're going to have to be at our best. They were successful here at Durban. They were successful in PE as well 6 years ago or so. So we know that we're going to have to be at our best. But yeah, coming to South Africa, fortunately, unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with the fast bowlers.
Mendes has had a terrific year, scored runs everywhere. Have you sort of in particular discussed on him at all?
Yeah, like all the other batters, we've discussed him. To be honest, for me, I haven't played a great deal against him, so you know it will be a little bit new seeing him out in the middle. But in terms of the chats, we've discussed him. We've got our plans to him. We'll respect him like any other batter that we should. But look, the guy has been playing well. He's really held up that middle order for the Sri Lankan batting lineup. I think this time we'll be expecting it. We won't be surprised.
Temba, just to get back to the evolution of the team we were talking about just now. I just wondered, you guys have come through a lot as a team on and off the field, and I hope that's made you a better team. But from what I can see from the outside looking in, is that I can't remember a time in the South African cricket team's history since I've been covering them that it's just been a bunch of decent human beings in the same sort of way. There don't seem to be any difficult personalities around. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think, we grew up in South Africa, right? There's always something happening, and we always have to find ways to navigate whatever it is. So I think it's no different to the guys that you have within the team. I like that you say that we are decent human beings. I'll tell that to the guys, but they definitely are. Led by a decent coaching staff as well. That's really encouraged the guys to be themselves, not to be a certain way, and really to allow the best out of each player come about. So I think the guys have relished that. But in terms of the challenges that we face, there will always be challenges, but I think it's just the way that we deal with those challenges. It's probably slightly different to maybe in the past as to how we've showed up.
Temba, you mentioned that they were successful here some years back. If I remember 2019, they were actually won against you guys here. Does it almost somewhat give you a chance to redeem yourselves going into this test match?
I think, when they came again to South Africa a couple of years later, I guess we did redeem ourselves in that test series, looking at the result. But I think it's just more of awareness that probably in these conditions, it speaks a lot more to them than maybe playing in the high fault or whatever that is. I think as well, if I look at this group, these guys are not necessarily touched by all of that. There's probably only 3 or 4 of us who were part of that test series. So I guess it's neither here nor there for certain guys. And for the guys who were there, it is probably a motivation to, I guess, right those wrongs. But look, nothing changes. We don't want to make that anything than what it is. We'll focus on what's happening tomorrow and put our best foot forward.
Temba, sorry, I think I actually jumped the gun on my 10-year one. I should have asked you that next week. But if I remember that 2014 team, I think they were number 1 at the time that you made your debut. Or they were certainly there and thereabouts. And you spoke about those big names, Hashim and AB and Dale and whoever. Do you see anything in this team that says they can also be number 1? Because the names are not necessarily as big, but are they still a number 1 potential side?
Potentially, definitely. Look, I can't put my finger to it, to be honest with you, but there is something kind of special about the group. I think also the way the team has come together, if I look at the different series from West Indies last year to India, there have always been different individuals coming in, other guys have stayed, other guys having stayed, and I guess it was all about putting together this personality, this team of personalities, guys who effectively can do something special for the team, and I think we're starting to get to that point. In this series, there's no new faces per se, so we're definitely settling in as a team, and guys are very comfortable with each other. But yeah, for me, there is a sense of something special can come about this team, and I guess we have 4 or 5 games to kind of do that. Yeah.
Cool. In the interest of time, we won't take any online, so we'll walk through the room.
Temba, recently we have seen a trend of away teams doing well in Test cricket, especially if you take New Zealand beating India, and then even South Africa and Bangladesh, and even India doing well in Australia. Is that because that the players are now used to all these conditions, or why do you think? Because earlier we didn't see that kind of a trend.
Yeah, if I think of us going to Bangladesh, I guess there was probably a greater focus on that challenge, and there was a greater, I guess, sense of joy or satisfaction seeing us being successful in foreign conditions. So I guess that could be a reason. I guess home ground advantage isn't so much of a thing, and I guess, like you say, it's because guys are playing so much with each other. I think from our side, the hunger to keep winning, that's something that we believe will, I guess, fight off any type of complacency. And obviously any other team that comes to tour a year and looking to be successful. And I guess, looking at the Sri Lankans as well, from an experience point of view, they have guys who have played in these conditions, so things won't be as foreign to them. But yeah, I guess it's a nice space to be in where there's no obvious winners, if I could say. And I guess that's what makes Test cricket as beautiful as it is. Anyone can win on the day in whatever conditions that are put in front of them.